Hello from NCK Tech. Today I'm going to try and show you how to prepare a switch to be used as a brake light switch on an Electrathon car. The switch I'm using here is a Radio Shack switch. The number on this switch is 275-1548, and that's a package of 4 of them. They're under $4. It's a very inexpensive switch. Now, there's probably more reliable switches. I think you would only want to use this on an LED type brake light. If you was going to use a higher amperage, then I think you'd want to go to a silver contact switch. A good spot to do that, possibly buy a switch like that, would be like Mauser. You'll see them on the internet. But you're going to need the switch. Also, I've got some heat shrink tubing. I've got some 5/16 heat shrink tubing, a piece of 1/4 inch, and 2 small pieces of 1/8 inch heat shrink tubing. So, is what I've done. This is what the switch looks like when you get it. This has got a removable cap on it, and if you pull that off, you can see what it looks like without the cap. Is what I've done on this other one is I've went and ground this down. I used a small little bench grinder, and I ground it down to where it's got a shorter plunger to it. You don't want the plunger to be very long. And this is a normally closed type switch. In other words, this is a switch that's actually closed or light on when it's not pressed, and then when you press it, that's when the light goes off. Now, some of the other switches you buy don't have the removable cap, but there again, you could take a bench grinder and just shorten this plunger down to where it was about an 1/8 inch long. So we're going to put the wires on the switch here. I've got a little device here to help hold my switch. It's pretty hard to do unless you have something to hold it. To start off with, we're going to tin the wires. I've stripped the wires here, and tinning the wires is just basically saturating that wire with solder. And I'm going to do both wires here. Then I'm also going to go ahead and put a little solder on my switch contacts here. Then basically I'm just going to hold that wire up there, and before you put the wire on, you want to put the piece of the heat shrink on. The 2 little short pieces, 1 on each wire. Because once you solder them on, you can't get them 2 pieces on. And you want to keep them to the back. Then heat that up. Okay, there we have 1 wire on. Come around here to the other side. Do the other one. So now we have both wires on. We're going to slide them up. Get them up close as possible. And I'm going to use a heat gun here to shrink it. Okay, now, once I have that done, I might talk about the wire here for a second. I used this is about 18-20 gauge wire. And you always want to make sure you use a stranded wire so it's very flexible. This is something you can get at Radio Shack or somewhere too. Now I'm going to take and put the 1/4 inch piece on first, and then the 5/16 piece on second. And then I'm going to slide that up the wire. Okay. Now I'm going to put the 1/4 inch piece up over the wires here. And I'm going to shrink it down. Then on the 5/16 piece, I'm going to put it up, and then it will actually fit over the back of the switch. And I've put it up over top of the switch. Then I'm going to shrink it down. And I think you'll find that to be very, very secure. Something you won't break the wires off of. Now, just to double check, I'm going to take my meter and check to make sure I didn't get the switch too hot or anything, damage it. And the meter should show continuity before you push the switch. See, it's normally closed. Then when I push the switch, it breaks. So this one here is testing out fine. Now, this is part 1 of a 2-part video. In the second part of the video, I'm going to show you how to go ahead and mount this switch in the handle.